Welcome to the overview of ENMAX Power's proposed Northwest Calgary transmission line relocation project. This video will answer some common questions that we hear and will let you know how you can get involved in the consultation process and share your feedback on this proposed transmission project. You can visit our website for more information, including how you can get in touch with a member of our stakeholder relations team.
ENMAX Power is proposing this project to ensure that we continue to provide our customers with safe and reliable electricity. This transmission line has provided electrical services to Calgary's northwest since the line was constructed back in the early 1960s. Based on information we've collected from our regular pole inspection program, it's been determined that more than half of the poles along this line need to be replaced. When we begin to plan a transmission line rebuild, we undertake a thorough review process to explore different routing options with the goal of identifying the routes that have the lowest overall impact to our customers. When considering potential routes, we take into account many factors like constructability, environmental and stakeholder impacts, and any other technical requirements. Once we determine the most viable route and any alternatives, we then submit these options in our facilities application to the Alberta Utilities Commission for review and approval. Before routes are finalized and submitted to the AUC, we conduct an environmental evaluation, which essentially is a study on how the location and construction of the transmission line could interact with the environment and surrounding wildlife habitats, trees, and any vegetation in the area. This study allows us to mitigate any environmental impacts well in advance of construction. We submit this plan to the AUC as part of our application in accordance with AUC Rule 7. We also work very closely with the City of Calgary, including parks, and any other governing agencies to minimize any identified impacts and obtain all necessary environmental approvals prior to construction.
This is the current alignment of the 1661 transmission line in Calgary's northwest. Let's take a look at the route options that are under consideration. The first option is a partial relocation route. This route would replace a portion of the transmission line that runs through the community of Dalhousie and relocate the Brentwood portion to a new route along Shaganapie Trail and John Laurie Boulevard Northwest, connecting substations 16 and 27. This option would use a combination of steel, laminate, and wood poles. The second option is the complete relocation route. This route would relocate the transmission line onto a new alignment using steel and laminate poles. Using the major roadways of Crowchild Trail, Shaganapie Trail, and John Laurie Boulevard Northwest, this option ensures the transmission structures connecting substations 16 and 27 are relocated away from homes and businesses in the area. You can view each route option in more detail on our project page. ENMAX Power conducts hundreds of pole inspections every year to identify signs of damage or deterioration. Our asset management team compiles the inspection data and determines which poles should be replaced. The pole inspection program requires us to proactively inspect any structures for signs of deficiencies and plan well in advance for replacing any poles that indicate signs of damage or deterioration. This proactive approach allows ENMAX to continue to provide safe and reliable services to Calgary's homes and businesses. It is not our standard practice to place poles in backyards. However, this transmission line predates the development of the residential and commercial properties located in this area. In fact, this line is nearly 60 years old. Over time, the communities of Brentwood and Dalhousie developed around this transmission line, which is why a portion of the line is currently located within some residential backyards and parking areas. Our practice is to keep transmission lines overhead unless an underground option is warranted. When we assess the feasibility of an underground option, we look at factors such as relative cost in comparison to an overhead route, available space, overhead line clearance, and technical constraints. We also consider whether this is a brand new build or if an overhead alignment already exists. For this project, the cost to put just one portion of the transmission line underground is more than double the cost of any of the routes that ENMAX is proposing. Given this information, ENMAX cannot justify applying to the Alberta Utilities Commission for an underground configuration along any portion of the current route.
As the owner of the electricity system in Calgary, ENMAX Power requires approval from our regulator, the Alberta Utilities Commission, or the AUC, anytime we want to build a new transmission line or alter one of our existing lines. The first step in that process is to submit an application to the AUC. Our application has to meet the requirements set out in the applicable legislation and in the AUC's Rule 7. ENMAX Power has developed its participant involvement program to meet the notification and consultation requirements that are set out in AUC Rule 7. As part of its program, ENMAX Power has distributed information packages on the project to all the landowners, residents, and occupants that are facing each of the route options and who are also within 200 meters of those options. The AUC will also issue notice by mail to those of you who live, operate a business, or occupy land in the project area and who may be affected by the project. This notice includes the submission deadline for anyone who wants to provide feedback on the application or who wants to participate in the proceeding. If you would like more information about the regulatory process, it can be found on the AUC's website. We expect to file our facility application with the AUC in early 2022. And subject to receiving our approvals and procuring materials, construction is anticipated to begin in 2023. Please keep in mind that these timelines could change. Construction for this project is anticipated to take approximately 3 months, and our customer relations team will notify you at least 2 weeks before construction begins in your area.
Thank you for watching our project overview. At ENMAX, we are committed to consulting with you in the decision-making process for our proposed and existing facilities. Through effective communications and building trusting relationships, ENMAX wants to ensure all stakeholders are involved in shaping our decisions in a meaningful manner. We look forward to connecting with you.